Today we are going to be reviewing the Lenovo G24-10. I got this monitor at Walmart.com for an USD price of $139.99, but I am 100% sure that it boosted back up about $30, so it should be about $169.99. So, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the build quality. Now, the Lenovo G24-10 is by far not an expensive monitor, so you need to keep your expectations low and, well, your acceptances lower. My number one gripe about this monitor here is that its base is this little plastic thing. It does its job, it's, function over fashion, but it's still not, they could have spent the extra, couple of cents, maybe $1, just to add a metal stand, or at least completely metal. The bottom of it is metal. An additional gripe about this monitor's, well, I guess you could say stand, again, would be, well, the stand itself, its functions. It barely tilts. It's like a slight tilt, maybe. I don't see the point. It could have just been like a static stand for all I care. But it has a tilt. Not sure if that's important to you. Although beware, I do see this weird screen effect. Like if you pressed against a screen, that same exact effect, when you are trying to pull it back. So do not adjust it too often. You might end up like pulling the monitor clean off the stand. The build quality of the monitor, and I'm not going to lie to you here, it is a plastic monitor. It feels pretty cheap for the most part, so don't get your expectations too high and expect something more like something more high-end. It also has pretty thick bezels. I think you noticed that right when you saw it. And it does have this little lock feature on the back here, like anti-theft or whatever. I haven't even tried to use it, I won't lie to you. I mean, it's there if you want to use it. I mean, what's stopping someone from like unplugging the whole entire monitor and just taking everything with it? Or unplugging it? Okay. And when you turn it back around to the front, you get a TN panel that is capable of displaying 1080p by 1920 at 144 Hz. Oh yeah, and it's 23.6 inches. On the site, they don't call it a 24-inch monitor, so I guess that's nice. Now let's get to the final thing that we've all been waiting for, and this is, of course, its capabilities and functions. The Lenovo G24-10 does support Nvidia G-Sync and Freesync. Now, this is all done through HDMI 1.4 and DisplayPort 1.2. Yes, HDMI 2.0 does exist. Yes, DisplayPort 2.0 or whatever it's called does exist, but it's not in this monitor. And my honest opinion is, if this monitor could have had one port, and we had to select between HDMI and DisplayPort, I would have chose HDMI 2.0 because it's simply a better port than HDMI 1.4. The supposed contrast ratio is 3 million. Is that a 3 million? It's like, I think it's 3 million. I honestly can't tell. They have a comma right after it's like a 300 and like 4 zeros. 3 million to 1, which is a pretty bold claim. I don't believe that one bit. It doesn't have any type of backlight, local dimming, so take that with a grain of salt. There are a couple of buttons at the bottom of the monitor, yet again, cheaply made, that can access the multiple settings within this monitor. By pressing the one that is adjacent to the power button, you get a little heads-up display that has, model, resolution, max refresh rate, mode, firmware, and serial number. But by max refresh rate, it does mean the max refresh rate of the device you're using. It does not mean the max refresh rate of the monitor itself. The next couple of settings are for things like dynamic contrast ratio, brightness, saturation, contrast, color temperature, sRGB, that amazing eye care technology, which is called low blue light here. You get some language settings. And of course, all of your refresh rate settings, which does have overdrive, FreeSync, definitely turn that on, and your refresh rate counter, which I like to keep on. I'm a tech geek. I love stuff like that. And of course, last but certainly not least, the input signals. So you can choose between HDMI or DisplayPort. It does have a DisplayPort choice, like DisplayPort 1.1 or DisplayPort 1.2. Don't know if that means anything to you, especially since it isn't, of course, HDMI 2.0, Lenovo. And of course, the synopsis. What are you buying this monitor for? I do believe that PS5 will eventually have an update to support 120 Hz on older devices. As of now, I do not know. Of course, on the Xbox Series X, you can force 144 Hz. So you're not stuck behind the HDMI 2.1, paywall. And of course, the real reason you would buy this monitor in the first place is for its G-Sync and FreeSync capabilities. Now, if you're using this only for the monitor itself, if you can afford better, get better, they have one higher model called the G25-10, better looking monitor overall. It also supports HDR, although I'm pretty sure it's not HDR 600, 400, or any of those. Just a warning. I don't even think it has HDMI 2.0, so I don't know how they achieved that. Guess it's like decoding or something. So my honest review is about a 6 out of 10. I think this monitor is good for the price. I think it is a good, cost to benefit. But I also think that if you just save up a little bit more, you can get a better model. But this review was meant to be non-biased and also help you, get a better understanding about what this is, what this product is. So I hope I was of help to you today, and have a great one. Of course, it has that one-of-a-kind, you can't get it anywhere else, eye care technology. If I could clap my hands, I would. Also, like bulky, bend knees and use safe lifting technique. This thing weighs like freaking 6 pounds.